the Miller Lite when I make it right.
Well, traditionally, barbers were barber surgeons back in the day. That's why you have the barber pole, because that was to do with like different colours types of the poles.
Barber pole is blood, rag and veins. You get the blue, which represents the veins. It's bloodletting, basically when in the medieval times, if you had an illness, you'd go to the barber.
Which seems a bit random to know that now, that people used to go in and relieve stress and things like that by literally like letting blood go. Barbers, I think, still like to have that kind of like surgical approach.
And actually we focus on the service and the experience of the barbers. When in fact all of us here have got well over 10 years experience.
I love all the traditional aspects of barbering. I think that's the exciting thing about it, like I was saying, but there's so many bits of the traditional part that haven't changed over the years. They're still exactly the same.
At the end of the day, you're still getting your hair cut, you know, you're still getting your hair cut. It's just about the experience and what you do with when that person walks through the door.
The way shaving started, it's pretty much gone full circle. We've come all the way back. So you went from having a cutthroat, and then you'd get like a double-edged safety razor. People started using electric razors, whereas now most people are actually going back to how it was first done. So
what we've gone for here, we're trying to not go for the mahogany-clad, oldie-worldy gentleman type place.
Chris, when he styled this shop and the Old Street shop with his designer, he wanted to get that kind of like butcher shop approach, which is why it's got like the white tiles and then like a meat counter at the front. And I think that although you don't want to feel like you're going to the barber shop and getting butchered, it's still nice to have that kind of clean approach to it.
It was all about the service and getting that customer to really enjoy that 45 minutes.
Like we've got the Polaroid wall where everyone comes, whenever their first haircut, they come in and they get a picture put up on the wall. And I think rather than just taking pictures of people's haircut for Instagram or social media, that makes it more of a community. 'Cause years ago, you go to the barbershop and that's where everyone went to meet up. From anything from gangsters to politicians, everyone has to go to the barbershop.
About 4 or 5 years ago, I noticed sort of like the increase in gents taking more care in their hair and their appearance and their grooming.
Barbering has become like a cool job. Now you've got like some of the barber schools in London. They're doing courses, like 9-week courses, where they've got 30 students. They're like overlapping 3 at a time. Barbers is coming out of them like left, right, centre.
In barbering, there's always been the two extremes. You've either had, you know, what I call a backstreet bar, where you just walk in, sit down, wait your turn, or you've got the very high end that have been around for centuries, where it's very stuffy. It's like a real gentleman's club, and it always probably felt like it was to the elite. Now we've brought it into a middle ground, really.
I like to think that Ruffians, we have like a laid-back luxury. Like they're going to come in, and the guys are going to look like he's just stepped off a 1940s steam train, but he's going to look like a guy who knows what he's on about. He's going to have a good chat with you. He's going to get the best haircut he's ever had.
No, I like to say that it's going to change your life, and in fact, I guarantee to people that it's going to change their life because it's their identity.
It's like, you know, you go into some salons and the place is white floor, white ceiling, and it looks awful. It's really sterile. All the stores, they evolve. Like from when we look at Edinburgh all the way up to our newest store in Shoreditch, they're the perfect environment, but not just to cut hair, but for the customer to sit. Like, customer experience is massive for us. It's why we put so much thought into just how the shop looks. Like the Belmont barbershop chair, like you won't find it in that blue, but that's Ruffian's blue. Like we're the only people that have that colour blue, and it seems like such a small thing. It's the fact that nothing's here by accident. Like we got like hoovers in the skirting boards that takes the hair downstairs because a dustpan and brush looks rubbish.
The amount of relaxation and comfort involved.
That's what Ruffians is all about, is having an experience and feeling like you do matter.
With any sort of fashion and creative industry, it has to move on because otherwise it becomes redundant. That you can't cut hair the same way as you cut hair 100 years ago because people do things differently.
Haircuts change with fashion, but actually doing a shave, whether it was 100 years ago or now, a shave's a shave.
You can't change it too much. If you see a barber get his kit out 20 years ago and get his kit out now, it's 90% the same stuff. It's more men that have evolved, truth be told. This wouldn't work 10 years ago. A bloke wouldn't come and get a luxury haircut. The people who go and get a £10 for back a size, like, they wouldn't like coming in.
It's not your quick backstreet barbers where everyone just gets clippered and then you leave.
They wouldn't justify the amount of money. They'd go, that's overpriced, because they just don't care enough. The idea is that we built these shops, people that do care enough.
If you wanna take a trip into the wild unknown, be sure to keep it here where your comfort goes, 'cause the secrets that I'm keeping ain't no good to me.
I find London, everyone's quite hungry, and so everyone's like trying to go that extra mile and trying to up their game.
I've literally said from the beginning, I'm going to be a barber, I'm going to be successful, and I've set all these goals. And one of my mates was a barber, and he was doing really like cool like Bugsy Malone hairstyles and 1950s hairstyles, and I was like pretty blown away by it. So I thought, I want to be a barber. I don't know any girls that are a barber, so I'm going to be a barber.
I feel like it used to be a lot of like guys in uniforms, aprons and stuff like that, but now it's kind of more like salon, like you can book appointments basically. That's a new one. So you can never really book an appointment at a barber shop. It used to be like a chair with like about 20 people sitting on it waiting, and now it's kind of like weird because clients come in and they're like, wow, you guys have booking systems. It's definitely evolving. It's definitely a lot more modern now.
There are barbers out there that are really still traditional, and they're trying to keep it old school, but I think it's always gonna be there, but it's not gonna last very long because it's becoming really modern now. Like people are looking on Instagram more. People want kind of like an edgy look.
We always just try like keep a nice variation of kind of styles, and even just create new styles. We kind of like change it up a little bit more, like kind of customize it and personalize it for them, so they feel like they're getting a proper service.
In my other shop, they were like, you need to be chucked into. They chucked me in the deep end so much. I remember they were just like, no, you need to use a cutthroat. You need to do it. Like, stop avoiding it.
And I've learned like structure. I've learned colour. I've learned how to deal with clients professionally.
My boss came up with Johnny's Chop Shop. More 1950s, 70s style mixed together.
This shop's kind of like more laid back, more surfer, kind of skateboarding type of, kind of theme to it.
It's like if you would sit in a chair at a barbershop, you'd want to feel like you're at home with a beer in your hand, and like you just want to feel relaxed, don't you?
So it's obviously keeping it quite traditional, but still kind of keeping a bit of character and a bit of street style in it as well.
It is quite a quirky shop. Like we dress quite quirky. It's modern, but it's modern, but we're trying to keep it old, so we're like mixing the two. Barbering is like a big family. Like everyone like sticks together and everyone's like really supportive.
We don't claim to have reinvented barbering, we just claim to do it better.
I care a lot about how my client leaves, and if they're happy, then I'm happy.